Say you put in $100 a month. Just that. What actually happens? This isn't a stock pick, and Captain Hedgehog owns no positions to sell you. It's just math, the same math that turns a coin jar into a retirement, given enough time. Here's the trick, your money earns a return, and the next year you earn a return on that return too. Year 1, $10 just sits there. Year 20, it's multiplying right alongside your original 100, while you do nothing extra. Quick trick, divide 72 by your return rate, and that's roughly how many years it takes to double. So let's actually run it. $100 a month, invested for 10 years at the stock market's long-run real return of about 7% a year. You put in $12,000. You end up with roughly $17,300. Not bad for doing nothing more than not spending it. Stretch that same $100 a month to 20 years, still compounding, and the math gets more dramatic. $24,000 of your own money grows into about $52,000, more than double what you actually put in. Now give it 30 years, the length of an actual career. $100 a month is $36,000 of your own cash. The market, historically, turns that into around $122,000, $86,000 that you never personally earned. You didn't need to be a genius. You needed 30 years and a standing order. Where does 7% even come from? The S&P 500, a basket of 500 American companies, has averaged about 10.4% a year since 1957, yes, since Eisenhower, dividends included. Strip out inflation, and the real return has run around 7%. That gap matters. 10% sounds bigger, but inflation is quietly nibbling the whole time. The 7% number is the one that tells you what your money can actually buy later, so that's the number this video keeps using. Here's the part they don't put on the brochure, the market is moody. In 2008 alone, the S&P 500 fell 37%, more than a third of its value, gone in 12 months. The blob has range, and none of it is subtle. 2020 was worse and better in the same year. The market dropped 34% in 5 weeks flat during the COVID crash, the fastest bear market on record, then finished 2020 up 18.4%. 2022 just quietly fell 18%, no drama, no headline. Notice something about that whiplash, the best days and the worst days keep showing up right next to each other. Nobody rings a bell announcing which is which. Which is exactly why the average investor underperforms the index they're invested in. Over the 20 years through 2024, the S&P 500 averaged 10.35% a year. The average equity fund investor only captured 9.24% over that same stretch, same market, much worse timing. Here's the sharpest version of that, $10,000, fully invested in the S&P 500 from 2004 to 2024, turns into over $70,000. Miss just its 10 best days, and that same $10,000 ends up under $35,000. And the 10 best days almost always sit right beside the 10 worst ones. Panic sells you out just before the rebound. So the actual strategy is almost insultingly simple, keep buying the same amount every month, in the crash and in the rally, without checking the news first. That's dollar cost averaging, and its whole superpower is that it doesn't require you to be right. That monthly habit works, but here's a quiet leak nobody warns you about, fees. A fund charging just 1% a year sounds tiny. Run our same 30-year, $100 a month plan at 7%, then again with 1% shaved off for fees. The fee version ends with about $21,500 less, almost 18% of the whole account, gone to a number you barely noticed. Check the expense ratio. It's the one number in this whole game you actually control. Here's the biggest lever of all, bigger than the return rate or the fee, starting 10 years earlier. The same $100 a month from age 25 to 65 grows to about $262,000. Start at 35 instead, and it's only $122,000. 10 years of Head Start beat 40% more money contributed. Time is the actual asset. Meanwhile, according to the Federal Reserve, close to half of American adults have absolutely nothing saved for retirement, not a small account, nothing at all. So no, $100 a month is not nothing. It's the exact size of habit that turns into an actual number, decades from now. Break the 30-year total down into where it actually came from, 36,000 is you, the disciplined part. The other 86,000 is the market, doing the heavy lifting you can't do by saving alone. Lay all 4 checkpoints next to each other and the curve stops looking like a line and starts looking like a hook. 10 years, 20, 30, 40, each stretch adds more than the one before it. The boring decades are what pay for the exciting one at the end. Captain Hedgehog will be honest, this is the least exciting strategy in the entire ocean. No rocket ship stock, no secret tip, just a standing order and a very, very long nap. And most professional stock pickers can't even beat this boring thing. Worth repeating, loudly, every number in this video is a hypothetical projection built on a historical average. The real market makes no such promise, and past decades do not guarantee the next one. So does the plan actually qualify as simple? Automatic monthly transfer, yes. Picking individual stocks, no. Checking it daily, also no. Treating it like a bill instead of a choice is the entire unlock. $100 a month. 30 years. That's the whole trick. The market will fall 37% some years and jump 29% in others, fees will nibble if you let them, and starting early will always beat starting big, but the $100, showing up every single month, is what actually does the work. $100 a month, every month, for a long time, that's genuinely the whole strategy. Captain Hedgehog's out.